Hey, Coach, I'm so excited you found us on YouTube. First of all, go subscribe and like. That means so much to us, and we're trying to get to 100,000. That's kind of our goal. Second thing is make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. If you want to win more games, have more fun in less time, hundreds of videos, less than $1 a day. It's unbelievable. You get my personal email address. You get everything. You too can become a better basketball coach. Let me help you put some championship banners in your gym. So let me help you do that. Go over and check it out. Let's head off to the video.
All right, welcome to high school hoops. We're laughing because we talked about the topic, and I'll get to it in a second. But anyway, before we do that, shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the only shooting machine you need. I'm surprised I don't see more of them in gyms and multiple ones of them. But anyway, anything their new technology and is crazy. Their new CT plus, and it's
The
gonna be
app. You're
wait
talking about the
the
what
app
shooting
and the
machine that you
yeah, and wait till AI takes over. Wait till all the Chat GPT things takes over those shooting machines, and they're gonna tell you that
Yeah, I don't even know what you're talking about. You just keep talking.
you don't. Okay,
No.
off the air, we'll talk about Chat GPT. It's
All
gonna
right,
change
sure.
education for the rest. It's yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about it. I'll show you when we're done. And then go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. The one-stop shop for basketball coaches. Everything you need to become a better basketball coach, run by a basketball coach, not by an ex-basketball coach, not by a college coach, not by someone that runs a multi-million-dollar company, by someone that has to go out and shovel his driveway in about 15 minutes.
You
That's
still
me.
haven't done that?
I did once, but I think it's been blown a
Ah,
little bit, so I got to do it again.
all right.
And I got to go to Costco. I got a Costco to-do list.
Every time I talk to you when we do podcasts, you always go to Costco afterwards. Is that
Yep.
like your thing?
Hey, I'll give people a secret. People all over Costco. They will not kick you out of Costco. So the key to Costco is you go the last 15, 20 minutes, you get in, and then you do your shopping. There's never a line. There you go. Thanks. If you like that, leave us a review. I just saved hours in your life. So go over and leave a
Yeah.
review we don't have any recent reviews. Go leave a review for us if you like this. I'm assuming you're a high school coach. You can figure out how to do it on Spotify or iTunes. We would really appreciate it. All right. So yeah. So before we today's topic. So before this, it's like we had a game last night. We had a game on Thursday. We batch these, and I'm just coach can tell I'm gassed. I'm
You are
yawning
gas.
and stuff. And the topic today is mental health and sleep. And I was telling him I can't sleep after games anymore. The adrenaline is just I used to go and then I can't I went to bed at like midnight and woke up at like 6. Like I couldn't sleep. I just woke up and it was like so I went out and snowblowed and did all that stuff. But anyway, so the reason this is my topic and I'm going to take the sleep, you can take the mental health part. We are talking to our players right now are getting more viral illnesses, more sickness, more coughs, more can't breathe, all that stuff that's going through. And they're getting it because they're not eating well. They're not taking care of their bodies. They're not getting enough sleep. And I said, it doesn't matter if I'm sleeping. It matters if you're sleeping. Like, so I'm on them. We've had several discussions about sleep and the science behind sleep. And I think it's helped a little bit. I think they're getting more rest. I think I've got the parents involved. So I think a lot of that is big for us moving forward. So I think I'd love to know what coaches out there think about sleep, but you go take the mental health part of it, coach.
Well, I did a little bit of research as you were talking about it, and I just read here the American Academy of Sleep Medicine says that teens should sleep 8 to 10 hours a night, and there's no way that most
There's
high school
no
kids sleep.
way. No way.
And 70% of students fall short of that on school nights. So, and you were talking about health, but it also poor sleep limits his ability to focus and learn, which then leads to poor mental health as well. So I think the number one thing is sleep, but I think it's been really hard for kids with cell phones. I think cell phones are a huge distractor. It's
I was
amazing that we could literally probably do a whole podcast
we
about
should.
cell phones.
We should do one
And
on cell
just
phones.
like what I see, like there have been 2 or 3 times I've been out to dinner with my wife or my daughter, and I see couples, older couples, and the husband and wife are both on their cell phone, and they're not even talking to each other for 20 to 30 minutes. It's a sad world we live in a way,
You know,
and we're not.
yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. I told my players before the game yesterday, we're talking about like they don't understand like not watching shows and DVRs and
Yeah,
VCR. They didn't
yeah.
understand. So I was explaining that to them. But then I said, you know, Coach grew up in the perfect era. And they go, what do you mean? I grew up in the era like when you watch Stranger Things, that was my life. They go, what do you? I go, there wasn't like another universe underneath
You
the
actually
upside
had to
down.
plan your life, right? And
You
if you lost it, it was done. So that was kind of actually a bonus, right? So if you missed an episode, there was nothing else you could do
there's nothing.
besides record it.
I said when you called the girl, you had to call and get through the dad before you got to the
Hello,
girl.
hello. You get your voice a crack. You get scared a little.
He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
look at
And
me like
if you
I'm
wanted to
from
ask her on a
Mars.
date or you wanted to ask her to prom, you actually had to ask her to her face, and you can't text her.
Right, right, or make a little
Right.
whatever. But it was like they didn't understand. And I said, and they looked at me like, what are you talking about? I go, the internet wasn't around. And I said, the pictures you see in the gym, most of those pictures were when flip phones were around. So
Right.
it's not
For
like
sure, dude.
it's not like the internet was like, and they go, and they didn't even understand that you had to pay for text messages at one point.
Yeah.
They looked at me like I said, no, it was like 12 cents a text message.
Yep. Yep.
And they look at me like, but anyway, so but this, you're right. They are so connected to it. The addiction to it is crazy.
And it's I would say it's worse than ever because before the phone was just used as a communication resource, right? Now
Right.
it's basically
A
I
computer.
mean a computer that they can be able to watch anything at any time. And I'm a sucker for it too at night. I'm like, oh, I should go check WSN and see how Steve's team did today. Oh, I could go on Huddle and watch some film. Oh, I can go watch this. Oh, look at this video clip. Or I can check my Facebook, or I can do this. Like
Right.
I could not imagine being a 17, 16-year-old with that capability would be astronomically because at young ages, our self-control and our ability to create margin in our life it's very hard to do. It's hard to do when we were kids,
I know. I know.
and
It's a
now I can
it's a little
imagine.
dopamine. And I'm telling you, I go on sometimes we have a group Snapchat and I'll go on and their little heads will pop up at like midnight and I'll go back and go, why are you not in bed? Like, stop it. Go to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. Like, so yes. So mental health.
But I thought from years ago, from talking to you, you had a curfew where kids had to go to bed.
And we've
Is
had
that
that. We've
something that
had
you
that. And that's
is
helped.
that
That's
something that
helped.
you have stained upon? I mean,
Yep. Yep. And it's a little
from
bit harder.
somebody
We
that's living the trenches right now with coaching high school basketball in this day and age, how is that working for you, or how are you communicating that? How could we help coaches understand what you do to maybe
Yeah,
help them in their
it was
craft?
easier when they used to have to call from their home line and then I knew they were
Right.
home and then I could call or ID it. So now I kind of like have them text me or snap me the joke um or something and then I'll respond or I won't respond. And it's part of it's like you got to do this before. And the last curfew we had, we came together and decided on the time. Like it would have been the Middleton game, I think. Might have been the Middleton game. But it was like, all right, so the night before, what's a reasonable time? And they're not gonna throw 3 a.m. at me, but it's like we eventually landed on like home by 11 and bed by 11:30 kind of thing. And I said, can we all agree on that? Can we hold each other accountable to that? So uh that seems to have worked as a good, effective way of setting a curfew because it's a group decision. I said, I'm not punishing you. There's lots of weekends, but this is an important game and this is an important thing. And let's all get to bed and all get sleep. And
Yeah, but I also think you got to communicate it that it's not punitive. It's putting them in the best situation to be successful. I think that's always when you're working with high school kids or all kids is that them knowing the things that you're putting in place isn't there to hinder their progress. It's to make them better, to better basketball players and better people. And I mean, as adults, we need to learn how to self-control and get sleep, and hopefully they take some of those things that they've learned and apply that to their lives when they go to school and they're independent by themselves, because it's really easy when you go. I mean, it's really easy to go to college and not have that time to tell you what to do. You know, you got to develop self-discipline. And if you can do that as a basketball coach, that's one thing I think we also have to remember. We're still trying to develop, you know, young women and young men, you know. We
We're
might not get the credit that we deserve, right? Or the appreciation that we should. But in
right.
the end, that's the
But
bigger picture of it all.
we're always teaching.
Always.
And it's like I was like, I'll tell you, last night we got back from the thing and all the snow. One of my guys left their lights on. So guess what? Coach is doing with his coaches? We're jumping his car. We're teaching them like, well, here's how you jump a car, and don't touch this to this, and make sure the red you'll kill yourself. Blah 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 blah. How do these work?
Yeah.
You know. Will he remember that? Probably not, but he was thankful and he was helpful, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go get some gas, coach. I go, no, you're not. You're going home. Because this car might not start back up. If you
Exactly. No, keep it going, dude.
Go home.
Go home.
We're not turning this thing off. Go home. And then you can.
Yeah, but I do think we're in a society more than ever, especially people working from home. They're on their set schedule. People, especially the COVID times, everybody was kind of moving on their own wavelength.
Yeah.
And I think that hinders sleep,
does.
you know, because
It does.
oh, it doesn't matter. I'll go to bed when I want to. I'm not in a routine.
Well,
And
I'm
if you're
telling you,
not
my bedtime's later. My bedtime's later now than it was pre-COVID. I got off schedule COVID time. Like I would stay up late COVID time.
I know you were like insanely late, dude.
Yeah, like insanely late. But that's like I could see that in retirement because it doesn't matter when I wake up. I'll just wake up when I'm ready to get up, you know. And that's what COVID was kind of like. So yeah.
You can't do that though when you're doing a full day of school and you got to drive to
No,
school and you got to do all those things.
No. But I'll tell you on a side note, best sleep I ever had during COVID, bar none. That like 18 months, I slept like a baby. I was exercising. I had no stress. We didn't have a season. But it's good stress. I'm telling myself it's good stress. What do all the coaches out there think? Is it good stress? I think it's good stress.
I would say the last thing about mental health and sleep is what about how do you feel that your players they're eating, their habits of eating?
They're eating horribly.
Okay, because
Horribly.
we've been doing this for about 5 years, and we constantly say how terrible.
We got to do a
high school
nutrition.
kids
We got to dive into a whole.
We got to really dive deep into that.
The mental health
nutrition.
too. We just scratched.
Yeah, but how I think it would be interesting to give coaches some statistics on performance and how nutrition plays a factor both mentally and physically to their players.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
think that would be
We'll tease this out a little bit. Let's do that as an
Yeah.
off-season thing. Let's do some nutrition and
like factors.
I think
of
these kids are
nutrition and-
still coming from a teacher. I think these kids are still coming out of COVID. So the
Right.
mental health thing and what we can do in the spring and the summer to bring some of that mental health stuff back, I think would be really good. I agree. I think that'd be really good. Okay.
Sweet.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Till next
Coach.
week, coach.
Hey, Coach, so glad you enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe and like. Second all, go check teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Let me help you put banners and stuff in your gym and become a nationally ranked coach, win more games in less time. Teachhoops.com is a community that will allow you to do that. Go over and check it out and go check the next video out. Bye.